The storm had swallowed the land whole. Wind tore across the open ground, dragging snow with it like sand. It was the kind of night where sound disappeared, where even footsteps were lost after a single step. Inside the ranch house, the fire burned low, and the walls groaned as the cold pressed in. Then, through the wind, a voice broke through, thin, strained, almost gone. It came again, closer this time, carrying only one clear request. She stood on the porch, bent forward, one hand against the door as if it was the only thing keeping her upright. Snow clung to her hair and lashes. Her breath came out in short, broken pulls. Her legs shook as though they no longer remembered how to stand. She did not beg, she did not explain. She lifted her eyes once and spoke the truth as simply as she could. I need shelter. If the door stayed closed, the cold would finish what the storm had started. The man who opened the door lived a careful life. Inside, everything had its place. Boots lined near the wall, firewood stacked the same way every night. A pot sat on the stove, warm but untouched. The house held heat, yet it felt empty, like a place waiting for voices that never came. A young girl stood halfway down the stairs, holding the railing with both hands. She watched without speaking, her eyes moving between the stranger and her father. There were signs of another life here, an extra chair pulled back, a faded cloth folded and never used, small marks on the wall where something once hung. No one spoke of who was missing. The house already told that story. Outside, the storm raged on, loud and cruel. Inside, the fire cracked softly, offering warmth but no comfort. This was not a home filled with joy. It was a place built to endure, one quiet night at a time. She lay near the fire on a folded blanket, close enough to feel the heat, but not close enough to claim comfort. Her clothes were torn at the edges, stiff from ice and long travel. Every breath she took came slow, like she was counting them. One hand rested near her chest, fingers brushing a small bracelet made of leather and bone. It looked worn smooth, as if it had been touched many times for strength. Her eyes stayed open, dark and watchful, even as her body warmed. She did not ask for food. She did not ask for more wood on the fire. When the logs shifted and sparked, she flinched, then steadied herself. Weak, yes, but not broken. She was resting, not surrendering. The room felt different with her in it, quieter somehow. Fear had entered with her, but it did not stay in control for long. The girl stepped closer, slow and careful, like she might scare the moment away if she moved too fast. "Are you cold?" she asked, her voice small but steady. The woman turned her head toward her and nodded once. "Not like before," she said. Her voice was rough but kind. The man watched from near the table, saying nothing, listening instead. The fire popped and the wind rattled the window, but no one rushed to fill the silence. The woman took a breath and spoke again, choosing her words with care. "I will leave when the storm ends." The man shook his head slightly. "You're safe here tonight," he said. The word hung between them, unsure but honest. The woman closed her eyes for the first time since arriving, not to sleep, but to rest. Morning came quiet, as if the land was tired from fighting the night. The wind had eased, and pale light crept through the window. The woman woke slowly, confused at first by the warmth around her. The blanket was heavy, the air still. For a moment, she stayed still, listening. No storm, no footsteps chasing her. She sat up, careful, and placed her feet on the floor. When the man saw her, he told her to rest longer. She shook her head. "I will work," she said. I did not come to be carried." Her voice was calm, not proud, not weak. He paused, unsure. Then he nodded. "Food and shelter," he said, "that's all." She agreed at once. No thanks spoken, no debt claimed. Just a choice made in clear daylight. The days began to move in a steady line. She rose early, before the house fully woke. She swept the floor, fed the animals, and learned the quiet ways of the place. The girl followed her everywhere, asking questions that had no sharp edges. The woman answered each one with care. The man watched from a distance, pretending not to notice how the house changed. Laughter returned in small pieces. The air felt less heavy. As winter gave way to softer days, the woman grew stronger. Her steps became sure. Her silence no longer felt like fear. No one spoke of staying forever. No one spoke of leaving. They worked, they ate, they rested. Trust did not arrive all at once. It grew slowly, like the land after snow. Not forced, not rushed, simply allowed to live. One evening, as the fire burned low, the girl sat at the table cutting small shapes from old paper. She looked up and asked, "Why didn't we have lights last winter?" The question landed softly but stayed in the air. The man did not answer right away. He stared into the fire, then spoke the truth without hiding it. "It hurt too much," he said. "The house felt empty." The girl nodded, as if she already knew. The woman listened, her hands still. After a moment, she spoke. "Where I come from, winter is not the end," she said. "It is a time when things sleep, so they can rise again." No one argued. No one tried to make it better. The room stayed quiet, but the quiet felt warm. Some pain remained, but it no longer stood alone. The day the stranger arrived, the air felt wrong. Dust lifted on the road before anyone saw him. The woman noticed first. Her body went still, her eyes fixed on the rider, as if the past had found a way back. When the man dismounted, he smiled like he already owned the ground beneath his boots. He spoke her name as if it belonged to him. "I've been looking for you," he said. She did not answer. The rancher stepped forward, placing himself between them without raising his voice. The stranger laughed softly. He spoke of promises and choices, twisting words until they sounded like truth. The woman finally spoke. "I chose to leave," she said. His smile faded. He did not touch her. He did not need to. His words were enough to chill the air. When he left, the land stayed quiet, but the safety they had built felt thinner than before. The stranger spoke as if the matter was already settled, as if her silence meant surrender. The woman stepped forward on her own. Her voice did not shake. "I belong to no one," she said. "Not you, not anyone." The words were simple, but they held years of loss and running. The rancher stood beside her, not ahead of her, not behind. "She stays because she chooses to," he said. The child moved closer and slipped her small hand into the woman's, holding tight. The stranger's face hardened. He warned them this was not over, that choices had costs. Then he turned and rode away, his threat carried off by the wind. No blows were thrown, no weapons drawn. Still, something had been won. Fear had not been chased away, but it had been faced, and that was enough. Winter came again, quieter this time. Snow fell gently, resting on the roof and fence like a soft promise. Inside the house, a small tree stood near the window. It was plain, dressed with simple things made by hand. The fire glowed steady and warm. The child laughed as she placed the final piece on the tree, a small carving shaped like a star. The woman had made it herself, smoothing the edges with care. The man watched from the doorway, his chest full in a way he could not name. No songs played, no speeches were made. Outside, the night stayed still. Inside, light flickered against the walls, steady and real. Through the window, the house shone quietly in the dark, a place no longer waiting to be alive, but living.